Alright, time for part two of responding to comments. This is going to be responding to Harry Pearson 7037. The brother is falling asleep hearing about the illegal Red Bull. Now, firstly, I don't know how you could be falling asleep hearing about the illegal Red Bull. It's not being talked about in a lot of places. So it should at the very least be novel. It should at the very least be novel. If it's not novel, and let's pretend it's being talked about in a lot of places, as it should be. Well, then, what are we gonna do about the illegal Red Bull? Does it just get to be illegal for the duration of these regulations, or is some sort of clip back actually going to happen to the car? They're not gonna clip back the car. That's not gonna happen. So until then, the Red Bull's illegal. Until we switch the regulations, the thing's illegal. That's just the way it is. This is the reality, bro. This is the reality. It is what it is. I wish they were talking about it, the talking heads on the TV. They don't, right? Instead, they do the hopeful, the wishful thing of, oh, maybe next Grand Prix. Oh days, oh my days. Maybe the next Grand Prix, someone's gonna catch up to the Red Bull. Oh, the Red Bull gotta hit diminishing returns at some point. Come on, someone's gotta do it. I mean, the car's right there. You can study it. Someone's got to do it. Like, really? Is it really going to happen? Clearly, these cars have more of a ceiling to them than they first thought. Clearly, at least in race trim. At least in race trim. Let's pretend that the other teams are getting closer to the Red Bull in qualifying trim. Let's pretend. What happens in the race? One lap, and the Red Bull's the second ahead. Now some people go and say, oh, the fucking McLaren was pulling out a whole second over a fucking sector. Well, not really. Not really. It had something like 6 tenths to pull out. But anyway, it was very good what it did. Very good what Norris was doing in that car. Really good what he was doing in that car. But otherwise, it's not about that. Right. It's not about the snakes and ladders going on behind the Red Bull. I wasn't talking about the snakes and ladders thing when I was still doing the GP observations. But it's not about that. It's not about, well, it is about that. Everyone else playing snakes and ladders, you don't really get to win the game of snakes and ladders because the winning tile has been removed. But one time the winning tile was put back on the board, Singapore, because Old Spice Marco, he said too much. But the one time the tile was put on the board, like I said in the first video, the sandbox of F1 took over and, well, Ferrari came up trumps. It is what it is. That's just the way it happens. But really, why were Red Bull off the pace in Singapore? I promise you it's not going to happen this season. I promise you. When that Red Bull lands at Singapore, it's not going to be off the pace for shit. They might be a second ahead in qualifying come Singapore for all we fucking know. Probably more likely that that happens than not happens. But anyway, will we not be saying the Red Bull is legal then? I mean, look, the thing breached cap. All right, the thing breached the budget cap. It was it was murmured about for just a second on the broadcast this fucking weekend for Saudi Arabia, just for a second, and then it's like I put that away. Don't talk about that. Who was it that murmured it? Was it Anthony Davidson? Anyway, anyway, that was funny. You know why it was funny? Because that's a sensitive issue for the current state of F1. You see, even commentary knows that Red Bull were not in breach of cap by whatever bullshit number the fucking FIA put out. Because the FIA, you see, the dam of legitimacy for F1 is under siege. First, they dropped the fucking bouncing bomb circle World War II on their own fucking dam of legitimacy with 2021. And then Red Bull breached cap in the same season. It's like the bouncing bomb had fucking. I think splitting bombs are a banned weapon in war. Is that right or wrong? Either way, that bouncing bomb that they threw at their own dam of legitimacy split into more bombs. Oh shit. Oh shit. All of a sudden, Red Bull were in breach of cap, and everybody knows it's not whatever. What did they put out for the final number? 400k? Was it 400k? That would be too much. It must have been like 40k or some shit. Anyway, everyone knows that's bullshit. Everybody. The whole grid knows. But you know what? You know what's funny? They're all they're all keeping a roof over their heads with this F1 money, so they're not going to jeopardize that shit too much. And talking about the illegal Red Bull breaching cap, how much they actually breached cap by, all these things that you might find on this channel, that's going to fuck up the money. You can't feed kids when the money's being fucked up. That's just the reality of things. Just like the Red Bull being illegal, that's just the reality of things. It is what it is. It is what it is. You see, the Mandem, Harry Pearson, he's also talking about the Mercedes being illegal between 2014 to 2020. I understand he's changed his tone in this thread as it's gone, and quite frankly, I've not been interested enough to follow what the comment section was doing on this video. Who knows, it could be a war zone in there. That would be funny. But anyway, the Mandim can make the comments what they want, I suppose. Am I even able to make comments guidelines yet? Who knows? Who knows? But well, the thing about the Mercedes quote unquote being illegal is, well, there's no metric that one can prove it on. There's just no metric. There was no budget cap, so you can't say they went over the budget cap, and they haven't breached cap while it's been in action anyway. So you can't actually levy that at Mercedes. We can't talk about their designs because they run all their designs by the FIA, both before and after fabrication. So you can't actually can't be can't we can't just we can't we just can't, bro. I'm sorry, we just can't. That would be stupid to do. That would be really stupid. That would be irksome, even. Like, if you need that sort of rundown, then I don't know, brother. Go back to the cult. Tell them you defeated the great evil or some shit. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. What else? The tire test? It's definitely not the tire test. You're gonna have to add Pirelli if the tire test was a problem, really. Really. It's not a problem that Red Bull did the tire. That's not why the thing's illegal. The thing's illegal because they went over the budget cap. And you see, if they really went over the cap by whatever the final reported amount was on the FIA stamps documents, then Anthony Davidson, he would have no grounds to mention it. He wouldn't even have an inkling to mention it because it wouldn't be relevant. Wouldn't be relevant, but they know it's relevant. And they know it's more relevant than they think it is. That's another thing. You see, I think it's really relevant, but I don't even think I believe it's as relevant as it actually is. But anyway, I mean, you see, they breached cap during the 2021 season. So really, that's a whole nother problem for the 2021 season. But we're not gonna fucking talk about that too loudly. Anyway, it's interesting. It's the Mercedes between 2014 to 2020, not the 2021 car included. It's also interesting that Ferrari and their illegal power unit is not mentioned. Very interesting. Very interesting. I talked about this sometime last year, maybe even year before. The man them that will talk about the Mercedes being illegal, but they won't mention the Ferrari quite literally being illegal in the same period of time. Quite literally, like, why do people think Ferrari suddenly fell off the face of the fucking earth all of a sudden? Why do you think that happened? Some sort of amendment was brought in to regulate the fuel flow properly in the fucking cars and the power units, and all of a sudden, Ferrari out of nowhere. I was surprised, surprise. Anyway, it never gets mentioned. All right, you see, I have a video. I have a video on why Mercedes would never cheat at the motorsports. Never mind F1, just at all the motorsports. I have a video on that. Now you see, Sir Lewis Hamilton, he's going to Ferrari next season. He may very well win a championship one of these years at Ferrari, one of these few years left in F1 at Ferrari. He may very well win a championship. I wouldn't be able to even bet $1 on the car being all the way legal. I wouldn't be able to do that. It's Ferrari. What? You think you think Ferrari would get the same shine? No, it's not gonna happen. But no one would talk about the Ferrari breaching the rules anyway. But they'll make some shit up for the Mercedes. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. Man getting bored of hearing about the illegal Red Bull. Brother, this is such a niche thing. Ain't no one talking about this. If they are, I want to know who they are. I know the man them in the space are doing it, but that's really it. It's not on the broadcast. I don't hear Peter Winston talking about it. I don't hear Scarves talking about it. I don't hear nobody else talking about it, quite frankly. B Sport and Sundry. I don't really check out much else than that, really. But ain't no one else talking about it. They're talking about all the Red Bull Civil War and all of that. Anyway,